So here's a quick overview of the updated GaaProstats system. So we have a game here, it's a club game I have on file. I've Waterford Limerick in there, but it's of no odds. So we'll say team one is Waterford, team two is Limerick. So very simply, input on pitch. If you were doing it live off the TV, you could have that pitch as big as you want, just to be a bit closer to accurate. Obviously, if you've got a video on, you resize that and you leave it up here in the corner and you have your video running here, whatever your own like it is. So it's really simple. So you click start half one, whatnot. You can speed it up. You can set these video speeds in the background. But again, just I've done it already. But start half one as it's thrown in, so it'll just automate there. So team one we'll say is the blue. Throw in one, so it's literally clean no mark. That's just automated from kickouts. So that was an attempt at a quick transition, and you'll see where all this leads in. Now we'll see. This is quite a slow possession game, so you can speed it up. Sometimes it's a Windows limitation. Sometimes it'll allow three speed. Depends on how fast how big the video file is. Sometimes you'll have to go to two. So we'll leave it at two here for a second, and here we are. Point shot. So you mark on the pitch. It was no pressure, scored point. And we're going to see how that works out in a minute. Here we are on the kick out. Team two, we're calling Limerick for the sake, or Limerick for the sake of it. So we just literally where it's marked, lost, clean no mark, quick transition, point shot. I'm going to mark it over high pressure. Again, you can that's up to your own wide. That's up to your own discretion. Again, depending how experienced you are at this, you'll often want to go back and have a look. I'm saying it's not quite over blocking hands because it didn't have to go up and over, but it's definitely high pressure. Now, what you're going to notice on the next one is when the keeper kicks it out, it looks very similar to the first kick out, actually. So I'm going to pause it just at the point. So it's similar enough, a little bit closer in. Again, so it's automated that it's midfield again. I use zones in between the lines of midfield and half back that leaves it open to you. It's set at automated black and white locations. But if you want to overwrite it here, I can say that was to the half back line. We'll keep it at midfield. Open player, dead ball. It's automated that if it takes more than 25 seconds, it'll expect it's a dead ball, i.e., it was after a free or a mark or whatnot. But that's entirely up to you, to override it if you want. Again, you'll see the purpose of that in a minute. So again, they've lost it. Clean, no mark. And does he go for a quick transition here? There was an attempt at a quick transition, so I call it that. That's again my way of doing things, um, even if it didn't come to fruition. Again, I'm going to speed this up because I know it's a slow enough play. Hence, you can get through these games really quickly post match. Depending on the style of the game, you could be getting through in 20 minutes, 25 minutes of in a 60-minute game. Again, here comes the shot. Moderate pressure. There's your point. Short shot. One possession. Only in Carlo, that's not a penalty. It's a turnover. And again, we'll play out one more play just to see how it goes. Again, I've experienced enough. That's no pressure from. Let me just get. Again, video's low enough for there's actually no high pole on this. Just on the 21, about halfway to the line. No pressure, wide. So you get the idea. Um, Simple as that, really. Then we'll make this a little bit bigger, and it's got to leave you right click. Kickouts for team one. There weren't none yet. Kickouts for team two. Both lost. Shots for team one. They've only got that. Shots for team two. There's your shot map. And again, if we go into a game I've done already, you'll see the data that application I've done here. Here's Galway Mayo League final, and you'll see here input on pitch. You'll see the dummy game in there. That actually shows the potential for where this will go sooner rather than later, I hope. But there's your kickouts for Team 1. There's your Galway kickouts in the league final. There's your Mayo kickouts. There's your shots for Team 1. Obviously at the far end when you shots for Team 2. Again, just right click, save picture, and Mayo shots. Yeah, I'll replace it. And again, you'll see it'll come out without the noise. And that's just saved there on your file there. Now, that's only the nice visual stuff that I put on Twitter. There's much more devil in the detail. Sorry. That'll also give you out this team possession summary. So it's giving you your shots with your expected scores, all of that. You can read down through that. So, again, expected score should have been 14.8 to Galway, 15 to Mayo. Obviously, your phases with shots here 56% for Galway. Total score per 10 phases, expected score per 10 phases, shot conversion rate, expected score per shot, a little bit of nuance in that. Goal chances make it a bit more complicated. If you want to get it in more detail, team possession report is here. Ignore anything to the right. I'm actually going to get rid of those, to be honest. It's this one up here in the top left, so it'll show what you scored off the throw in. Galway, nothing off their own kick out. They got shots on 69%, scored 31% on the opposition kick out. The two that they won, the ones that they won, they got three shots, but obviously two of those in the same phase. And they got 61% off on turnover, scored not 39%. So it gives you all that. Then it gives you this real key table here, which was always in the system. So it's giving you all the stuff that was there before. So we'll see Galway 10 kickouts to the full back line, 110 lost, zero scored, four conceded, zero. That's a 0.4 points per kick. Expected score 0.51. There's your half back line there. So it's full back line inside 9.5 seconds. More than 9.5 seconds. Half back line 11.5 seconds. Midfield generally it's more than 12 seconds. See Galway on long kick out, total six, 1-2, lost four, scored zero, conceded three. Again, if you what I would not normally do this only full back and half back line. Look, and then you're obviously kept for me. The key is first possession. Each was a turnover. All of a sudden, we're getting the real value. Galway scored 10, 110 to the full back line, scored four, but they conceded four on the turnover. So all of a sudden, they've no profit. They did have an expected value profit of 0.13, which would obviously be of value going forward that they should have. They obviously shot a bit badly. But that gives that detail comparing how do we do in our kicks to the full back line compared to midfield, for example. All of a sudden you're seeing midfield had six. Again, just you'd get into this as I train you up, but this is only the possessions. With the two that Galway won, they scored zero. The four that Mayo won, they scored three. But obviously, what's really significant is the first turnover each. That's my staple. All of a sudden, even on the two that Galway won, they actually conceded on the turnover. So ultimately, when Galway went long, they scored one and lost five. So that's all in there. That's the zonal kick-out analysis. That doesn't go into individual possessions, which is a whole different story. But that will give you all that sort of detail there in real time if you're operating live or post match and that. And from 60-minute game, depending on your experience, depending on the style of game, obviously if it's end to end, a lot of turnovers, you can't speed it up as quickly. But it would give you all of that. It will give you that 20 to 45 minutes, I would say, depending on your experience. And that's basically it. And as I say, there's there hopefully within the next week or two of programming, you'd also have turnover maps, shots to turnovers on your because it's all there. It's just a case of getting the programmer to take out various different bits and bobs. And a second point there I forgot to do initially. Why do you mark all those things? Quick transition, one clean, one break, whatnot? Because here you can have your options. So you can have a look. Here's Galway Mayo again. One lost on the break, so you can get a quick rundown here on Galway's long kickouts. They won one, lost four on the break, for example. You can have a look here. Only after dead ball, count only after dead ball. So all of a sudden you're asking yourself, is it the case? If I'm Mayo, why have Galway got off seven short kickouts after a dead ball when you had time to set up, for example? All those little nuances. Real key one here is count only a killer quarter. That's got to be changed to quick transition. That's old language used. But let's say don't count after quick transition, and you'll see on Galway's kickouts when they didn't get a quick transition, 9-1, 2 scored. Whereas you compare that to count only after quick transition, you'll see here from four they scored two. So obviously Galway scoring more in the quick transition than when they don't, which would be the common perception, but it's not always as crystal clear as that. But that's why you mark those things in as you go, because it gives you the option to look at all of these different tables here, and break the game down into further detail if you want to.